up, and welcome back to Opposites Attract Podcast. This is Sonja Ramirez, your girl, and I'm sitting next to
Miguel Ramirez.
What's up, everybody? How was your day?
How was your week?
How was your life?
Going. And before we get started, make sure you guys go to our website, Opposites Attract Podcast. You guys know what to do. When you guys go to our website, you'll see all the things that, all the ways you can follow us, the ways that you can support us. The best thing that you can do is to share this with somebody else. Follow our new clips channel. Find a clip that you like. Send it to somebody else. Tell them to subscribe, to comment.
All that
share,
good stuff.
All that. Yep.
Yes.
It all helps.
Yes. So before we got started, we were jamming out.
Yeah.
And so one of my favorite songs is from Mary J. Blige. And
Just Fine.
Just Fine. And Miguel found a remix.
With Lil Wayne.
Yes. So we were jamming out to that.
That's what we usually do. Like right
So
before,
good.
we'll
Yeah.
every once in we've been doing it more recently. It's like we'll put on a couple songs that are upbeat,
Right.
kind of.
And I didn't know Miguel was actually recording already. So I'm like, oh, you should make that into like a clip and show people like what we do
Well,
to
that's
get
recording.
ourselves.
That's recording because we're already sitting down.
Right. To get
is
ourselves. Oh, you weren't recording the music
the audio,
there?
but that's got a microphone.
Oh, okay.
Oh, but that doesn't hear. That doesn't have the music. I would have to download the music and add it in.
Oh, got it.
So that you could hear it.
Yeah.
But it's not easy.
So we have, we
I mean,
get
not hard.
ourselves all pumped up before we start recording, get our energy up. Sometimes it works. For me, sometimes it depends.
Yeah.
But I'm feeling pretty good, especially after taking that Midol
That's
pill.
that's like a way to manipulate yourself. These are
the things that we do. These are some of the tools that we do to change our mind, to get us, or our emotions. No, for sure.
And they're all things that affect things in a certain way, because even if you think about like this podcast, right? Like me and you will have a conversation about whatever, but it's at a certain level, like at a certain level of energy, at a certain like whatever. Like if it's intimate, if we're sitting on the bed, it's not the same as cameras and lights on talking about the same thing. It's a different effect. It's more, it's different no matter what.
Yes. And when I'm on though, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't hold back.
No,
so I don't know if
I'm
we're
not saying
about
so
the same
much
page,
holding.
if we're on the same page about what you're talking about.
It's just not, the environment isn't always the same. Like sometimes things come up more spontaneous. Like here we are also recording. So a lot of the things that we're talking about, they're not as spontaneous. Like a lot of things are, but a lot of the things that start our conversations going are things that we've thought about writing down to talk about for the show.
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
This is funny. So here's the opposites, right? Because you take notes on what you're going to talk about.
Yeah.
And I'm supposed to take notes.
But you don't.
What we're supposed to talk about, I'm very spontaneous.
Yeah.
It's like how I'm feeling, my emotions, right? Like things just kind of pop up. And sometimes it's good and then sometimes not so good.
All I'm saying is that in certain ways, things affect the outcome of things.
Yes.
Like the environment, if we're talking about a certain thing, could have a different effect than if you have cameras and lights on and you're talking to a whole bunch of people, as opposed to me and you just talking together about something else. And
yes, you're right.
And if me and you are talking about an intimate subject where it's like a very calm conversation where we're going to talk about that same subject on this podcast, but right before we're like, all right, let's listen to something to get us a little bit more upbeat.
Right.
It's not going to be the same.
Right.
Even though we're talking about the same thing.
Yes, yes.
I
got it. I understand now, okay? It took me a little while to catch on, but I caught on.
But either way, I think we just got to understand that that's a filter on a conversation, right? Is, hey, let's get a little more energy for this thing.
Right.
That's a filter that's kind of applied in a way, but everything has, it is what it is.
Yeah. And that's something that I have to become, I'm aware of it, but a lot of times I'm so much in the emotion. Couple of episodes ago, you showed me a video that was sad.
Yeah.
And my emotion went from being high to all the way, like at the lower frequency.
Yeah.
And after the podcast, you were unhappy with me. You're like, dude, you just like left me dry. Like, didn't you see I was struggling? And I was like, I didn't know what to say. Like, I was so emotionally caught up in that I turned off.
Yeah.
Right? And you can't
fucking shut down.
And you can't do that when you're on a podcast, right?
Yeah.
But I am learning. Like, I am learning these things.
But that's also what makes the conversations different is like, if you have to, like, mistakes are made and then we continue on.
Right.
You know, so like not every, and that's why you got to make up your mind for yourself. Ultimately, all the information that goes into your head, you are the filter.
Right.
You like, this is the ultimate in extreme ownership, leadership, whatever. Like, no matter what, you are the filter for what goes in there.
Right.
So regardless
Except
of whatever,
when you show me some shit.
No, but regardless of whatever spin or emotion, whoever attaches something to that information, you got to kind of like decipher like what is actually going on.
Yeah.
That's what you got to do.
Right.
You know, but you got to understand that sometimes, information can be skewed in a way.
Right. So don't believe everything you watch and don't allow everything to go in.
You just got to see it for what it is.
Yeah. And that is something we've touched on with the kids, like talk to them about, but I think that is something that we need to really talk to them about because we live in such a technology-based society, right? That it is important for us to educate our children on that because even us as adults struggle with that.
Yeah.
Right?
No, that's true. No, and it's harder and harder every day with all the information that there is out there, with all the confusion that there is out there.
It's
and
like
that's a skill that you have to teach your kids, deciphering information. Like what is what? That should be like a fucking class in school.
Yeah. Cause I'll go down a rabbit hole. Right? And then I'll send you some shit and then you're like, yeah, no, you need to.
Well, you know what? You bring up a good point. I had a friend, I had a conversation with a friend and it's like, there's certain things. And I was mentioning it last week when it comes to like, we were talking about that planet that they found life on and like UFOs and how recently there's been all this UFO stuff and how people are so excited about all that. And I've also mentioned on here before, like there are people that speak really well. And just because somebody speaks well doesn't mean that they know more than you do or that your instinct or whatever is not correct. Because there's been so many times where we've talked to somebody or dealt with somebody that knows either how to talk well, knows people, or knows whatever subject we're talking about to the point where it's hard to argue with them, even if they were wrong. Because you just don't know enough about it. A great example of that I was talking to my friend about was flat earth. Because I am not like an astrophysicist that studies like all of that stuff. But I know enough that like in this case, I was talking to my friend and I'm just thinking about, I'm sending him a text on my phone. This is going to go up to a satellite. And I'm not some genius that has figured out the entire universe, but I have a feeling that the message that gets sent to the satellite, that thing is spinning around the earth and it has something to do with the earth being round and gravity and all that stuff that they've figured out. I don't think the earth can be flat if we're doing that stuff and GPSs and all that. So there's that. I've also been in aviation for long enough where I'm not a pilot, but I've heard pilots talk about taking into account the curve of the earth and, you know, the rotation and all that kind of stuff. So I don't have to go down the flat earth rabbit hole. And even if you can get to the point where you're confusing me on shit, I could just stop there and be like, enough.
Right.
You know? Yeah. And same goes with the UFOs and all that kind of stuff. Like if you're showing me video, we're in 2024, by the way. Why are you showing me shitty video that looks like it's from the fucking 90s? I mean, we have 8 fucking K today. Let me see what these guys look like. I want to see a detailed picture of this flying saucer. If you don't have that, keep it to yourself.
And not only that, but it's like, why? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, why even? Because there's so much information out there, like we were talking about.
But this is where you have to...
Is that something that you're passionate about? Is that something you really want to know about?
Well, not even passionate about, but like we're, as humans, like we're curious about stuff, right? Like we watch all these nature documentaries, and if there are aliens, that's part of the nature documentary, right? But not fucking the gray guys with the crazy eyes and the flying saucers and sticking things up people's butts. You know, like where does this come from? Like there is no proof of this.
I told Miguel we are the aliens.
Dude, when you think about it, it's pretty crazy. Like we got all this clothes on. We drive these little things all over the place.
You're like, we have shit flying.
Yeah, just across the planet. You know, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Sending shit up into space. Like if you saw it from far away looking, it's crazy.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. But anyways, there's just some things I think.
And then when you really think about it on a deeper level, like the fact that we are, all of the matter is made up of basic
Stardust.
elements that is from stardust. Like we came from space, we ended up on this planet, and we're doing all this crazy shit here.
Right.
Like we're aliens. It's nuts.
Yeah. Yeah. There's amazing, a lot of information that is out there, and you can spend your entire life researching and learning and then going down this rabbit hole and not living. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like there's some people that really consume, like they're just totally consumed in this information.
Yeah.
And life is just like passing them by.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, and the more I, like, my beliefs are coming together or whatever, or have come together, that's like the ultimate thing. That's what you end up realizing, is just that this is it. The moment that we have now, because the time is like, it really is. It's just, it's going by. It there is no way to explain it with the depth that it merits, you know?
Back to
when you really understand
quick,
it that
the whole
way.
aliens thing.
Yeah.
I don't say that I don't believe, because space is infinite and there's galaxies upon galaxies, and we really don't have any idea what is out there or under the ocean. You
know, like it's, like the ocean,
right?
The bottom of the ocean. What is the deepest part of the ocean look like? We have no clue. And if you really understand how big, like really understood how big space is, you would understand that there is no way for you to understand what the fuck is going on.
Right. It's just enjoy the ride. It
doesn't work that way. Sorry.
Like enjoy the ride.
Have fun.
I remember you and I were sitting down having one of those intimate conversations upstairs about life and the purpose of life and all this other stuff. And
then I shit on it.
You told me, no.
I'm just kidding.
You usually do, but not this time. And you told me, I don't know, like word for word, no, but it was pretty much, I'm so grateful to be with you.
Yeah.
You know, like going through this experience with you.
Yeah. Yeah, that's another one of these thoughts that, like, I've been mentioning that that's one that I need to write down, because it is, like, I do see it as pretty special, because you could be born at any point in human history. Like, well, first of all, you could have just not been born.
Right.
And you could have been born at any point in history. Could have been born during Jesus's times. Could have been born before that. You could have been born like some of the, whatever they were from that new documentary on Netflix, Secrets of the Homo Neanderthals.
Oh, yes.
The Secrets of the Neanderthals. Like, check that out on Netflix. It's crazy. But you could have been born then, like living in caves and.
Yeah. You could have been dragging me by my hair.
But like our daughter said when we went camping that one time, we live in a time where you could die without Wi-Fi.
Right.
She's like, I'm going to die without Wi-Fi, you know, like out here. You know, so like we got Wi-Fi, we got lights, we got, shit that's voice activated. We got cars that drive themselves.
Yes.
Like we have
freaking robots that follow you
and clean shit up after you.
Right. Do you remember what they're called? Remember when we were downtown?
I don't even.
ASU?
It was like a Segway thing. There was like this like, it's kind of like a scooter that you can ride around like a Segway scooter, but this one was like connected to the dude. It was just following him.
Right.
So like in case he got tired walking, he could just get on it and move.
Dude, that's just nuts.
It was nuts. But yeah, so like we're born in the times where we have robots.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
Could you
pretty
oh my
special.
God.
And there's so many people, and there's like when you do look out there, you see how crazy the freaking world is. And to find somebody that sees things the way you see it, or at least, somebody that you get along with in that way, that you can share all these moments with and
get along with.
And the way I see it is like, I don't think there is more after this. I think this is it.
Yeah.
And if this is it, it makes it even more sacred.
Yeah.
Even more sacred than having an afterlife.
And like,
and
okay,
I'm happy
so that's where Miguel's at. And I'm okay with that. Like, I'm seriously okay with and I don't know, but if this is it, like I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
Right? Like, yeah, so good with that.
I would rather live like
I'm
this is it.
not scared of death. Like I'm not scared of the darkness of just not being, existence, right? I feel that we do like have, and I don't know, whatever. I don't know whether, and I'm okay if like, I'm okay. Like if one day they're like, this is it. Like,
right.
I'm going to be okay with that. It's not like I'm going to die or, you know what I'm saying? Or
so on a
be
deeper,
traumatized.
On a deeper philosophical, maybe my way of like coming to terms with all of that stuff is that it doesn't really end, because it's all energy that ends up going back.
Right.
Right.
And
back into.
Yeah. And it is really cool to think like that we have as spirit, we have the opportunity to come back and choose our life.
Yeah.
The challenges, who we're being born to, who we're going to spend this time with or not spend this time with. Like, dude, that would be nuts.
And the crazy thing is, like, for people that know like how I believe, it almost sounds like I believe in some stuff, because it's like to say like that we go back, right? That doesn't sound like somebody that's like, oh, this shit's like this, right?
Yeah.
But like literally, if you die and plant a tree on somebody, they're going to turn into nutrients for that tree, and the tree continues. Like,
that's what I want, by the way.
Like something like that. Or I don't know what happens if you're cremated. I don't understand. And that might be one of those things. Maybe something does happen and I don't understand what that is. Mm-hmm. And the energy is converted into a different type of energy or something.
Right.
But it seems like it all kind of recycles in a way or another.
Right.
Yeah. And it can be actually shown.
Yeah. Because I remember telling you, like, I want to be cremated. And then once I started my spiritual journey and just learning, and I'm like, no, I want to go back into the earth. Like, even if I'm cremated and then put into the soil of a tree.
I told you what I want to do, right?
Something like that. Yeah, you want like this box or...
No, because where is it right here? This is our Packers. Is that the certificate back there? I want to get cremated, and I want to get flown over a game at Lambeau Field. And I want my ashes sprinkled all over the people in the game at Lambeau Field.
You're so...
I want my ashes all over everybody on the field.
Yo.
That'd be awesome. Go Pack, go.
Oh my goodness.
We should do that. We're owners, babe. They gotta grant that for the owners, don't they?
Yeah, okay.
Hey man, you could only do it once. I'll be already dead. Who gives a shit?
But yeah. Anyways, there's just so much. But like I said, I am okay. Like for me, this is it, right? Like this is it. Like this life that we're experiencing during this time, this is it.
Yeah.
Right? Like this is it.
That's how I feel. But you think we come back as butterflies or something, don't we?
I don't like. I feel our spirit, like we.
But you don't know.
It's just I don't know. It's just something I feel. It's just something that.
Can you say that you made up?
No.
No?
No, it's something that I feel like.
How many people feel this?
My gut. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, there's people that believe, like our spirit continues to go on. It's energy. Yeah. It's just, but in the way I feel, I don't know, but that's just something. I don't know. I don't even know where I got this from.
Yeah. See, like I said, I think if you were to plant the tree on me, it continues on. But at that point, like the me here, I don't give a fuck. I'm done.
Hey, now this I heard that
it's just a nice afterthought, like philosophical.
And a lot of people that meditate and go into these different spaces or within themselves and tap into their spirit, like on a really higher, deeper level, they start to remember their past lives.
Prove it. Like we were talking about before. Fucking prove it.
I don't know. But then you're gonna could you imagine though? That would be really cool. Like I think I need to meditate more.
See? We're getting into flat earth territory.
But could you imagine, like, if I became...
We should have an episode of what ifs.
If I started to meditate and do more of these things to get you at a higher consciousness, because that's what it is. It's tapping into that higher consciousness, right? And I start to have visions and started to go back to this place and realize who I was, and you were there, but in a different form. And I came to tell you.
You watched one too many TV shows.
No. And I shared my experience with you.
That would be cool.
Miguel would fucking put me in a nut house. I'm never telling you.
Yeah. It is crazy though, because I think it was the radio. I've mentioned it on here before, but if you were to imagine the person that Maxwell, I think it was Maxwell was the name of the guy. He was an inventor back in the day. And they were going to put him in like a fucking crazy house because he was saying that back before the radio was invented, that you could send information through the air. And like, if you imagine back in those times when motherfuckers had candles, everybody looked like the Scrooge guy with pajamas down to their fucking ankles, with the little floppy hat and the little candle holder. Uh-huh. He was like, we could send information through the air. They're like, this guy's fucking crazy. Lock him up, and he was the one that invented the radio. I mean, I don't think they had like the pajamas. It wasn't that old, but it was a time where they were like, that's crazy. You're nuts. But it has to be a crazy idea before it becomes reality.
It would be interesting to hear his story.
Yeah. Let's get him on our podcast.
You know what I'm saying? I'm sure there's a book out there.
There, of course, there has to be
lots, right?
Yeah. No, that'd be interesting. That'd be interesting to look up. Maybe we could look that up. But yeah.
Speaking of getting someone on our podcast,
yesterday, the hippie people.
Yeah, my people. No,
dude, that was cool.
So we ended up purchasing a family vehicle.
We'll get into that after the break, but right now we'll talk about we were taking the new vehicle for a drive.
Yes,
and we came across we were going through the mountains.
So we're going through the mountains, and I see this vehicle, and it is like
it's a bus. First of all,
it's
a school bus.
Yes, and I see there's a woman on top, and there's a shade awning, and she's like chilling up there. And I looked at the vehicle. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, I think that they live in this thing.
Oh,
and it had solar panels on it. And I'm like, that is so cool. And I asked Miguel, can you turn around? Because I wanted to take a picture of it. Like, I actually wanted to talk to them. I wanted to learn, like, what are you guys doing? Like, because we talked about hashtag van life, right? And you all are like, you guys are fucking crazy.
Oh, hold up.
But
if you guys are watching the podcast, it's bus.by.devon. And let me see if I can get this up to the camera if you guys are watching this on Facebook or YouTube.
Or we could just post it on our group page. Yes.
Yeah, we'll post it in the group page too, but it's like, it had like not horns, but it had like lights and music blasting. He had the subwoofer. Dude, it was crazy. Yeah. It was like a triple decker school bus.
And so Miguel turned around and
we're like, let's go talk to these people.
Yes. And they were super cool. He was super cool. He had his, him and his girlfriend. And I asked him, I'm like, what led to this? And he said, I didn't want to pay rent.
Yep.
Just didn't want to pay rent.
Yep. They were like, that's it.
Yeah. And so I think he was 27 and
24.
Was he 24?
He was 24. Yeah.
Yes.
Young guy.
Super cool though. And I'm just like,
why not?
Yeah.
Like it made me think that too, because like there's so many ways to live life. And it's like, if you want to do that and you've figured out a way to do that, why not?
Yeah.
Like, all right, if you decide you want to do something later on, he's 24, you want to fucking go drive around on a fucking bus and have the time of your life for the next 4 years, 5 years, whatever,
right.
Do it. And then maybe you change your mind, or maybe not. Maybe that's your lifestyle, whatever. Fucking do it.
Right. Yeah.
You're not hurting anybody, right?
Right. And it just, watching him, I took a video of it as well. And it just felt free. Like, that's how I'm like.
Yeah. No, she was up on top. They had a shade on top. She was just like up there reading a book. And it was beautiful outside yesterday.
And you have to be a certain type of person to have that kind of faith, really, just to say, I'm fucking done.
Yeah.
I am done playing these games. I am done playing your games.
I'm just going to do my thing.
I'm going to enjoy my life. And I'm sure it's not that easy, right? Because there are no showers, right? It gets super hot here in Arizona. That's probably why he was saying he wants to get to Flagstaff, right? So it's kind of, when you know these things, you prepare for these things. Yeah. And just like that video we watched of that woman, she's like,
we gotta get
here
them on
in Arizona, she's like, there are places that allow you to shower.
Oh, I think like she said she was living in her car.
Yeah.
And she had like a gym membership. But the thing is that when you hear of people that are doing this, like, you automatically judge. A lot of people do.
No,
like,
sure.
they're
probably
crazy.
druggies, or they're
crazy.
Probably
this, whatever.
They're probably that.
And it's like that lady that we were listening to on YouTube, which we should reach out and see if we can get her on. You listen to what she's talking about, and she's like, look around. Look at everything that's happening. Like, I want to be at peace, And she's like, I can come to the park, do my thing. I got a gym membership. I can go clean up, go hang out in the mountains, go do, like, she's like, I have some money. If I want to go somewhere, I go grab something to eat, but I don't want to play by anybody else's games.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like, why not?
Yeah.
That's the thing, is that when you get it, like, there are no boundaries. Mm-hmm. These are fucking games that people made up. Mm-hmm. All of it. So you're a being on this planet. Mm-hmm. How would you live your life the happiest? Figure out how to do that.
And whatever that looks like, do that. What were we watching the other day? It was a documentary, and it was talking about how the two sides of the spectrum tend to judge each other. Those that are free, hippie-like, that just are.
Before we move on to that, bus.by.devon, check those guys out. They were really cool. Yeah, it'd be cool to get them on. We'll see if we can get them on here.
Yes.
What you're talking about, we were watching this. It was that yin yang video by Alan Watts.
Yes.
And how you have the people on the hill judging the other people.
Right.
And then the people were the
people on the hill were very, like, well off.
The bourgeoisie is what he called it.
Business owners, people that are living that busy life, right? Like,
successful
wealthy,
go-getters.
Successful, go-getters. And then you have the ones that are living down below the hill, which are like kind of hippies, those that are just living life, enjoying life.
The video is called It's All Around Us, but People Don't See It. Alan Watts on the Illusion of Reality.
Yes. And so the people down the hill were very free-spirited and really enjoying life. And he was talking about like the different judgments that they have about each other. And in all reality, the way for us all to win
is to realize that we're all that
we all need each other, right? Well, like we need them.
What he was saying is that the people that are at the bottom of the hill look at the people at the top of the hill like they work too hard. Like they don't understand what life is about. They're not enjoying themselves. Yeah, you have the money. Yeah, you have the house and the car and all that stuff.
But you're not joyful.
We have friends. We have genuine relationships and connections. And when the people at the top of the hill get together, they're like, oh, those people down there, they're all, like look at everything that we've accomplished. Look at where we came from. They're just a bunch of lazy people and this and that. But you have to have the in crowd so that you could have the out crowd. You know what I mean? You can't have the in crowd without the out crowd, or else there wouldn't be a crowd.
Because if we were to come together and not judge, then the upper class would realize the importance of having that freedom. They can have all the success, they can have all the wealth, and be present, be in the moment, be aware, enjoy their children, the time that they do have, enjoy their partner with the time that they do have. And the way they can learn that is being around the people at the bottom of the hill, because we educate each other. We talk to each other.
Yeah.
And then the people that down here may be struggling financially because they feel that they really, really have to work hard to create that. And that's why they don't want that to be plugged in. But the people at the top of the hill can also teach them some things. Like we can all learn from each other. And
yes, those two different personalities you can learn from both. But I think the problem with both of them is that they give a shit what each other thinks.
Right. Yeah.
That's the problem with it, is that either one of them gives a shit what the other one thinks.
Versus accepting
what is
love,
and taking the best from both of them and just living your life as happy as you can.
Right. Yeah. Because that's what causes the division and the separation.
And understanding that whether you live at the top of the hill or the bottom of the hill, or you see them as the disciplined, the fucking this and that, or the lazy, artsy, whatever, these are personality types. We're all people. We're all the same. That's what you're missing. That's what I always get back to.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. But that was a very cool documentary. So if you guys get a chance, go watch it. Take a look at it.
Anything Alan Watts, check it out. It's that dude's amazing. Before we do anything else, I wanted to kind of talk about the new car that we just picked up that I'm super excited about, that I think we're all super excited about. And just kind of like some of the stuff that we've been talking to Joey about. But before we do that, make sure you guys go to our website, oppositesattractpodcast.com. When you guys go there, you can see all the ways that you can support the show and follow the podcast. Like I said before, the best thing you can do is share this with somebody else. Share a clip, find your favorite clip and share it with somebody else. Tell them to subscribe, comment, like, all that stuff. And if you're going to do any shopping on Amazon, you can click through our link. Click on the support the show tab on our website. And whenever you do any shopping, it'll help us out.
Yes, yes. And happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day.
Yes, to all you beautiful mommies out there. Don't forget the importance of self-care, because without you taking care of yourself, we can't take care of those that we love. So make sure you go to our website and go to the Amazon link and buy something for yourself or for your mom.
Is that what you were talking about? No, not for your mom. Babe, what the hell?
Dude, I didn't know you were going to do that right now.
Yeah, you did.
I didn't know you were going to do the bzzz as I'm saying Happy Mother's Day. Oh, I know.
You were saying the self-care, pick yourself something up.
So I got something
Shut up,
funny
babe.
to share.
Shut up,
Wait.
babe.
Babe, that's so funny.
Go for it.
No deets. I'm not going to give them the deets.
It was funny. It was hilarious.
This morning, Miguel was, last night it was too late and he was poking me in the back. I'm like,
We just got a new car. We were out.
Wait, and
Yeah. So this morning.
Yeah. So this morning, I had to take care of my man. And shortly, after.
Dude, you're fucking timing.
He had his, beautiful awakening. I looked at him.
My awakening. Shut the
to me.
Shut the when I had my awakening.
Yes. I looked at him and I said, Happy Mother's Day.
Oh my God. I was like, shut the hell up. I'm like,
we
what
were
is wrong with you?
So hard.
It was funny.
It was so
You're
funny.
fucking
Perfect timing. I'm like, see, I'm funny. I got some jokes.
I should have been
so
saying
good.
that. Yeah, it was funny.
Anyways.
So, yeah, dude, I can't believe we missed. Dude, if you guys are in Arizona, I hope you guys saw the Northern Lights. I guess everybody freaking saw it. I had no clue that it was freaking happening, or else we would have checked it out.
No clue.
Jeez. But so I don't know if I think we might have mentioned it throughout the last few episodes or whatever. But sorry for snapping. But we've been looking for a car recently because we've had 2 cars for a couple years now. Mm-hmm. And we've been wanting something that we can get out and go camping with and maybe off-road a little bit. More than anything, just camping and more space to pack stuff up, take tents and all that and do some more family stuff. And so we started talking to our money guy and trying to figure out how we're going to do that. And we ended up buying a vehicle. We got a 2004 Toyota Land Cruiser that this guy kept in spotless condition.
Right.
And the more you learn about those vehicles, if you care to look it up, like it is an off-road just beast.
Fun.
Yeah,
it's a fun vehicle to have.
Like what we were looking for. If you're looking for a camping off-road vehicle, like that is it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So it's been cool. Like it's been a cool process because it's a bigger purchase, and we kind of had a budget and things that we were looking at that we wanted. But we don't do things the way that most people would do them. Like, right? When most people buy a car or whatever, like it's just, I think most people just go to the dealership and pick something out. If they can afford the payment, make the payments and you got a car.
Right.
But like, dude, when you really think about it, that's like just being reckless with your shit.
Don't say that. You're judging.
Babe, for as hard as you work for your fucking money.
I get it.
For as hard as you work for your money, like not figuring out how you're going to spend that money is like reckless. Like, I guess I'll just give the bank, like, yeah, sure. You know what I mean? Like, that's just kind of how especially the more that we do these types of things, like I value it. Like I was thinking about it when we pulled out like 15 grand cash, and people don't hold money like that nowadays anymore, And it's not easy handing over stacks of $100 bills.
Right.
And when you have it like that, and also when you have kids and you're talking to your kids about the lessons of earning interest and paying interest and who has all the money? Who has all the money? All of it. Where is your money right now? At the bank. Mm-hmm. They have it all, or at least we think they do.
Right.
Right? So the way that the banks get rich is by charging you fees, charging you interest. And I'm not trying to play their game. We were just talking about the games that are out there. Mm-hmm. And that's how they keep you fucking broke. I want to earn interest. I don't want to be paying it. So we talk to the kids about these things. And when I have this stack of money, like there was a moment when I looked at it and I was like, this is money that I've already earned. Like we worked for this money. We made investments. We were smart. Like this came from good decisions.
Right.
Which makes it harder just to fucking throw it away.
Right. Yeah.
Like, how could you just sign over for a loan for 60 grand? You know how hard I got to work for that money?
Yeah. It's easier to do, by the way, like you said.
When you're not paying attention, you just sign it.
You don't see it. You swipe it, you sign it, you don't see it. But having the money in your hand helps you to be grateful and to see the things and to feel the things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and also the value of things.
Mm-hmm.
You know, understanding that I'm giving you something that I worked hard for,
Mm-hmm.
and I want to make sure or do the best I can to make sure that I'm getting value for what I'm giving you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so like when it came down to the car, like we met a guy and you can tell he's passionate about these things.
Yeah.
You know, this dude kept it spotless. So it was like, and even
Not
at a
just
certain
spotless,
point,
he
did
the
an
maintenance,
awesome job.
just everything.
And at a certain point, when it comes to business, like I want a deal. I want the best deal possible, but at the same time, I don't want to be an asshole.
Right.
You know, so
Yeah,
I
you
was
wanna be
like,
fair.
I don't want to rip this guy off.
Yeah, you want to be fair.
So we met at we got a great deal on the car, and then we talked to the kids about it. And one of the coolest things right now is that Joey's kind of getting lessons in negotiation, right?
Right.
I don't know if you wanted to kind of continue on.
No, you can go ahead.
Okay. But Joey's got like these hermit crabs that he's gotten recently, and he's got 3 of them, and then he's learning that he's got a little 10-gallon tank that he keeps them in, and he might need a bigger tank because they require that. So he learns about money, you know, being around us. And I started telling him, like, look up Facebook Marketplace. You can get on my account and just get on there and see what you can find. And he started selling stuff. And I'm like, dude, whatever, this shit's a game. Whatever you can use to your advantage, use it. Tell them that you're using your dad's account and that you're just a 12-year-old kid. You know, like, just do it like you are. And he's like sitting here and he's getting lessons on negotiating. He's like $100 tank, and he's like talking the guy down to 50 and this and that. And then he lost one. So he's like, you know, if you get a deal, you got to act quickly, have the cash in hand. Let's move, you know, try to get some extra stuff thrown in. But I also had the example because the car is like, the computer's right here. If you guys are watching, the computer's right here. And then the car is like right out the window if you look to the right. And he's at the computer making his little deals on, you know, messaging this guy back and forth. And he feels like this is big business we're doing here, right?
He's so cute. Yeah.
And I'm like, it's okay. I was like, if you make a mistake, if you lose it, I was like, it's a $50 fish tank or tank, right?
Right.
I was like, look outside. We just bought a car. I was like, that's a lot bigger, right? You want to learn and make mistakes. So what if you get a shitty tank for $40? You probably learned a lesson, right? It's okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
But these are things that we got to teach them.
Yes.
You know?
And, you know, I know it's taboo to talk. Well, in some families, it's taboo to talk about money, right?
It can't be.
Yes. And before we went to go pick up the vehicle, we had the cash, and I asked Miguel to go allow Joey to see it, to feel it,
to hold it. Yeah.
Yeah. And to talk to him about it.
Yeah.
You know, him and Audrey. And, you know, Audrey's boyfriend was here as well. So when you were talking about it and sharing with him, Audrey's boyfriend asked, how did you do it?
Yeah.
And you said, well, we saved. Like,
we save money. We invest money.
A lot of times, buy things that
we don't buy things that we don't need. We don't take out. We don't borrow money that we don't need. We don't waste the money. Like a lot of times, well, one thing that I do, and I don't even know if this is the right thing to do, wrong thing to do. It's worked for us. So like when it comes to taxes, for one, I invest like over 20% of my paycheck. Mm-hmm. And as far as taxes go, I put single, no dependents, no nothing, so that they take out the most amount of taxes. And the way I see it, like it's all you're just adding numbers up. You're either paying the taxes now or you're going to get the money back later. So I figure I get a bigger return later. I don't have to ever really pay money because they take so much out. Mm-hmm. And then at the end of the year, I can take that money and either invest it, or back when we had debt, that's what we used to pay off all kinds of debt until we got out of debt.
Yes.
You know, but so many people will take all that tax money and it's like, I'm buying a TV, I'm buying a couch, I'm gonna redo this, I'm gonna redo that,
Buying
and then
a
the money,
car.
and then you
Yeah.
have no clue where the money went.
Right. And I remember it's difficult. I remember when we first made the decision to become debt free. Matter of fact, I'll read my post that I put up. I remember it's like you're biting the bullet now. Like you're just, cause you hear, all these things that people are buying and you see this lump sum of money and you see it, but you're not going to see it. Because it's going straight to pay off debt.
Yeah.
And it did, man. It freaking sucked. It was hard. But the things that we were doing, I mean, there are times where I had a birthday or Valentine's or whatever, right? For you as well. And it's like we sucked it up. Yeah. And we just did what we had to do.
Yep.
And because we made those hard decisions at the beginning, and really we're self-disciplined to do those things, we still live a debt-free life. And what comes with having and living a debt-free life is feeling a bit of freedom.
Peace.
Freedom. Peace. Yes, because, you don't, when you have a job, you are not fully in control. You're not in control. If they don't need you anymore, they don't need you anymore. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like the bank does not, yes, it owns us because of the houses we have, right?
Yeah.
But outside of that.
You know what? I just did this, like, if we have our house, right? We got one TV that is from 2010. It's like a 15-year-old TV, right? We got two cars. One's a 2014 and our new one that we got that's a 2004, right?
And then your other car, the other car.
Well, that one we're selling, but yeah. But I was just kind of, Toyotas, nothing crazy. But I was just thinking, like you were saying, the stress-free, the peace that we can have, right? Because of the discipline, right? And being able to have the money and spend it in a smart way, because the other thing is because we weren't emotional about the purchase. We were able to get a good deal. We saved money. We didn't spend as much as we were going to spend on a car.
Right.
Now the rest of the money, we're going to put it into your car to make your car better, more reliable, so that we have no worries with that car. Now we're good to go when it comes to cars and transportation and all that. More peace of mind. Right?
Right.
Then we sell the car that we have and take that money and put it back in the bank to make us more money.
Right.
Even more peace of mind.
Not the bank.
I mean, not the bank with our money guy,
yes.
but even more peace of mind, right? When in so many cases, the money is a stress.
Right.
Because I was just thinking right now, like, imagine we are in the position that we're in. Nothing changes. We live on this block, on this street, but we need to do some upgrades. We need to upgrade this house, replace all the carpets and the flooring. We need TVs in every bedroom. This furniture's got to go. We can't fucking live like animals like this. This shit's all got to get replaced. We need 2 new cars because we need to keep up with everything that's happening all around us. How much money would that cost? How much stress did that just add to your life?
Yeah.
For what? How much happier are you? Happier are you?
Yeah, no. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah. It took us a while though. Like for me, like I did all that.
And I'm happy as shit with my 2004.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What do I need?
Right. And I think that's the thing, is letting go of, releasing of the attachment of fitting in and
that's
keeping up with the neighbors, or, like they
how
say,
people
the
are going to
Joneses,
see
or
you.
all of that, right? Just all of that. And I think that once you start to step into that mindset, you realize that you can't take any of the stuff with you.
Yeah.
What's important to you? Like, what is it that you want in life? and sitting with that. What is it that you really want in life? What are you chasing? Why are you overspending? Why do you feel that you have to have
whatever
these
that
things?
is.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's not that it's a bad thing. Everybody's different, right? Like everybody's different. Some people, like if you are super like wealthy and you have this money to do those things and this is it, right? When we're in the middle of creating wealth, right? New business, we are in the middle of creating wealth. And there may be a time where money is just like, there's just too much of it. I feel, and this is being recorded, so this is going to be great. I feel that once we get to that point, I feel that the money that we earn will go to making a difference and experiencing this planet, this earth, traveling, being.
I agree.
And sharing that with our family.
Yeah.
I don't think I would get to, I don't know. I don't think I would get to a point where I'm just like buying a Lamborghini or I don't know. Even with the house, I feel that even with the house, it's like, I don't want to be in a house. I want to go outside and play in the lake. I want to be outside. I want to be in nature.
It depends on what you're into, right? Because I can't say I don't want a Lamborghini because if I see the right one, I might. I definitely want a Ferrari. There's something about the horse, the Ferraris, like I fucking love them. That's not a thing about like the status of having a Ferrari for me. Because for me, there are things that like, that's a piece of art, engineering, you know, like it's one of those things that like we built as a fucking ape that did all kind, like made this insane piece of machinery, you know, like that's a different kind of thing.
Yeah.
And if you have the money for it, do it, you know,
but that will also create experiences.
Right. Yeah. But if that for you is architecture or how, maybe that's a house or a place or like for you, the backyard, the lake or whatever.
I can totally
you know what I mean?
The house. I can see the house, but it wouldn't be the house that it wouldn't be one of these homes. It would be the woods or somewhere outside where you can totally feel the outside from the inside and vice versa. You know what I'm saying? Where it's just one, like an entire wall that opens up to that, allowing nature in. Like mine would be more.
This is crazy because we think about like these things, right? And we're talking about things that would make you happy, right? But we're also talking about like you shouldn't need things to make you happy.
Right. Yeah.
But you know, like this is the human experience. We do what we do, and if you can, why not?
And those things are extra.
Right.
I can't imagine. Okay, wait.
That's exactly right.
Because cannot imagine. Well, maybe being more fulfilled than what I am now, and grateful for where we are right now together as a family unit. I am pretty joyful. Like life is pretty good. And I've mentioned this many times before. No amount of money could get me. If someone asked me if I would rather if I had to choose between wealth and the life that I'm living now, like I could have wealth, but I could not keep the life that I'm living now. There's no fucking way.
Yeah.
I would not do that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I just no.
Yep. Yeah, like
it would have to be. It's an and. It's not an or.
Right. You know what it takes me back to is I I was just talking about that Ferrari, right? I mentioned months ago on this podcast, there was a time where I was going to help out a friend because he was opening up a recovery place, Rejuven, in Chandler, Arizona, right next to Rick Centron Jiu-Jitsu, and he's got his recovery place, our friend Eric. And, I'm driving my 2006 Toyota Avalon with 200,000 miles. And the sun is beautiful. The music is cranking. The windows are down. And I was having in that moment that thought, I was like, life doesn't get better than this right now. As soon as I had that thought, a fucking Lamborghini flies by on my left. And I was like, holy shit, that is cool.
Yes.
And then I was like, and you know what? I remember in that moment, I was like, fucking good for whoever that person is.
Yes.
Like good for
Right.
them. Like that's fucking awesome.
Yes.
I was like, it would be cool to be in a Lamborghini.
Yeah.
I was like, but I don't think I would be any happier.
Right.
And that was, I don't know how long ago. Yesterday, we were driving through the mountains in a 2004 Land Cruiser with 250,000 miles.
Right.
It was pretty freaking amazing.
Yeah.
It doesn't get better than that. And then just now, I was just talking about like imagining what it would be like to have a Ferrari, my Ferrari, in my garage.
Yeah.
And driving it even through the mountains.
Right.
I don't think it gets better. It's a different experience.
Right.
But life is still fucking good.
Right. Now, feel that.
You can feel that without the Ferrari.
Right. But add the Ferrari.
Yeah.
Do you understand? And that's
There's
where
something about that engine shaking underneath your seat.
And that is where I am right now, is allowing myself and giving myself permission to desire that, to feel that. Because we have it all.
Yeah.
Right? Like we have it all. And we can have more if we choose that.
Yeah.
Right? Like I feel that, and for me, there's been a bit of a like block, right? Like I have not been allowing that to fully sit in. I haven't allowed myself to really meditate on that because there's a sense of guilt or a sense of feeling that if I choose that, I'm going to lose what I have now.
Yeah. Yeah, you got this thing with the...
Right? But my boundaries or my standards that I am creating for myself, I know that I would not allow me to cross those standards.
Yeah.
Or those boundaries.
I know.
Right?
That's something you got to work on. There's something going on with
but do you hear what I'm saying,
and
though?
versus
well,
or.
it's because of what I was doing in the past to create the money, chasing the money, and all the time that I lost with you and the children because I was chasing that dollar. But now I don't have to chase it. I'm going to put in the work and I'm going to show up.
How much time have you lost with the mindset of and or?
What's wrong with and? And is great.
No.
It's or having to think I need to choose between.
Well, how much time have you lost having the mindset of or versus and? Because it's since
trusting.
No, but the thing is that it's
since trusting.
Right?
Yeah, since trusting. Because Legal Shield, that's what I was doing. Right? Like there was a lot of conditioning with Legal Shield.
Like our hippie friends that we ran into. These are games. And it's different. It's not or, it's and.
Right.
It's and. Right. And it's figure out a way. It's not like, well, either I can be successful and have money and not have to worry about anything and be secure and not have time with my or not have time with my family. That's or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, no, you can do both.
Right. That's the and.
There's a way to set it up. And you just got to think about today more than ever before. There might be millions of ways to make money.
Right.
Millions of different ways that people make money. Fucking people sell shrimp on fucking eBay somewhere. You know what I mean? And they make money somehow.
Right. Yes.
If you want it, it's out there.
Right. Yeah. But the conditioning, like, the conditioning, the way we were taught, even as, children, just the behind money, the beliefs behind money. And then you grow up and you get into sales and entrepreneurship. And then it's like the hustle mode, the hustle mode, the hustle mode, and the meaning behind success. You cannot be successful unless you're working really hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? I remember being told your children aren't going to remember the time when you weren't home. But fuck, I did.
Oh, yeah.
I did.
I do.
Right? Exactly. Yep. And
That's
so
true.
that's another conditioning and boundaries, things that I'm learning now, things that I'm undoing. Like everything is all about undoing.
But I think there's also a different, it's all different. And another thing as humans, I think we like, if it's this way, then it's this way. That's another part of us. It's like, if it's like you just said, the time that they weren't home, I remember that. And we want to think that that's how it is. If you remember a time that your parents were home, that's how it was. Mm-hmm. But it could not be that way with our kids, because I do work full time. I travel for work more this year than I have a lot in the past. Mm-hmm. But it could be like, yeah, I do remember dad being away for work.
Right.
But I do remember that when he was home, he was at my thing. He would take us to this, and we would go camping, and then we would do this, and dad used to work, like it could be that.
Yeah.
But it's a different situation.
Right. And this will be continued because we have an additional podcast we have to record.
I wanted to
right after this
mention something before we get out of here, because we've been talking a lot about money, and this is something that we haven't mentioned in a long time, but because a lot of times we assume that a lot of the people that are listening, like they've been listening forever, right? And if you're new, we talk about staying out of debt and the peace.
This will be a great continuance on the next episode.
Really?
Yeah, I need a pee.
And with that, make sure you guys come back for the next episode where we're going to give you some tips about how we got out of debt. Look at that. Fucking professional podcasters over here. Make sure you go to our website. Thank you guys for listening.
Thank you guys for your love. Thank you for your support. And thank you for watching Opposites Attract podcast.
Where we get better
together.
Bye.